What is going on, everybody? This video is brought to you by my members. Shout out to my members. I held a poll a few weeks ago asking members what they would like to see on the channel. And this one won with 61% of the vote. So when I saw that, I was like, oh, we're in the somewhere. I'm a man of the people. When the people ask, I need to give. All right? And so we are here today to talk about the incredible manga that kickstarted my 2023. Originally, I was going to make a video talking about multiple different series because I did experience multiple different manga slash webtoons at the ending of last year, at the beginning of this year, that have been absolutely fantastic. But standing above them all is this one. This one right here, without a doubt, propelled so many of my creative decisions that I've made at the beginning of 2023, and they continue to stick with me as I go into my day-to-day life with principles that continue to stick with me way after having completed this manga. Today we are going to be talking about Blank Canvas, my so-called artist's journey. This series is an autobiographical josei manga series published by Akiko Higashimura, who is the main protagonist of this series, detailing her adventure of wanting to become a manga artist. So compelling that I would even recommend this manga to individuals who have no interest in becoming storytellers, simply because the principles within this series can be applied in multiple different facets of life, but also because it's just a great read, a genuinely entertaining and heartfelt story. When I first came across this series in late December, I was looking for a piece of creative nonfiction to consume because I was introduced to the concept of creative nonfiction at the end of last year, around September, October. And it was a concept that just blew my mind because I'd known about the existence of it intuitively, but I did not know that there was a name attached to it. And so when I discovered this series, and it checked every box. You know me and checking boxes. It checked every single box that I was looking for at the time. And boy, did it deliver. Boy, did it deliver. I am not going to be going into spoilers, quote unquote, throughout the rest of this video, but I am going to be talking about certain key principles and how they affected me upon reading them within this series. And so if you do not want to even know about some principles that were discussed within this series, then I would recommend going and reading that manga and then coming back to this video to watch the rest of it. I would recommend that all of you go and read this anyway, but if you want to stay as spoiler-free as possible and do not watch the rest of this video, I will not be talking about any story-related content, mainly just the principles discussed within the story itself. I take that back. A little bit of story-related content. I have to, all right? So let's rewind that. A little bit, look, just a tiny bit of story-related stuff. And if you can handle that, then stick with me. Stick with me, ladies and gentlemen. These three principles all intertwine with each other, but I want to go through them one by one. The first one being mastering the fundamentals of your craft. Now, when you hear that, you're probably like, well, obviously, but hear me out for just a second. This is why I was like, hold up, I gotta talk about the story a little bit, just a tiny bit. Because there is a section of the story where Akiko goes into an environment where she is forced to do this same thing over and over and over and over again. And she does not understand why she needs to do this, right? As readers, we understand, but she, in that scenario, does not understand why she needs to do this over and over and over again. And no matter what craft you are in or what you want to do, the idea of establishing your foundation with repetition is universal. You know what I mean? The only way to truly learn something is by doing something so much to the point to where it becomes intuitive and you can do it without even thinking about it, right? To where it becomes second nature. That to me was extremely important to hear at the time, because I'm the type of individual that my ambition leads me to want to skip from step A to step Z, on some plankton stuff. Plankton, we never saw plans A through Y. My boy came on and said, yo, it's Chum Bucket, plan Z greatness. That's me a lot of the time. And this series reminded me I need to calm down. I need to get back to the basics, especially when it comes to the stuff I know I need to improve on, rather than just wanting to ignore this thing that is continuously eating away at me that I know I'm bad at. An example of this would be my descriptions. I know I'm bad at descriptions. I know for a fact this is something that's been haunting me for years. What this series has allowed me to do, thanks to this particular section on the fundamentals, is that I have started to work on that day by day, specifically on that, because I realized the importance of setting your foundations, making your foundations as strong as possible. And to me, that was so key. And I really needed to hear that at the time. And so when I saw that done in the way that it was within the story, it had a direct impact immediately, to the point to where even today, I am still doing my daily exercise in an attempt to strengthen my descriptions. And I would recommend every single one of you out there, in whatever it is that you're doing, if there is an area that you know you are struggling in, go up and somewhere and do something that allows you to work on that weakness. Because if not, it's just going to keep eating away at you until you finally answer that call. And that goes into my next point. Within the series, Akiko is placed in a situation once again where she has finally found the perfect environment that she has been looking for her entire life. And what happens here is, when she gets this perfect environment, she loses the ability to create, aka creator's block, aka writer's block, artist block, whatever word you have for it. We've all experienced it, that moment when we get in front of the screen, present ourselves before the white canvas, and absolutely nothing comes to mind. It is one of the scariest things that can happen to us because it is so demoralizing. What this series does in handling this concept is absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. But what I gained from it is the third principle. It is how I have dealt with writer's block, and now I take it to the 1 billionth degree. And that is the third principle in just draw. Whatever that is to you. For me, it would be just write or just press record, because there most certainly are days where I press the red button and stuff it just isn't working. It just isn't working. And in that very same way, more times than not, it happens that way from a writing standpoint too. And so whatever that is for you, whether you're a performer, an artist, an actor, a designer, when you're sitting in front of this blank canvas before you, just do the thing. Take the initiative. What I love about the way in which this series went about it for Just Draw is to take those foundations, those principles, and simply just look at what is before you. Look at whatever it is before you, whether it's yourself in the mirror, a flower in this corner of the room, another painting you've already created. Just draw something. And that will allow you to gain the momentum to do whatever it is that you want to do, but you currently do not have the inspiration to be able to create, and or the momentum to be able to create. And that is so key, man. So key. To the point to where, after I read that section in this story, I've been wanting to do this series on Squaresoft's introductions, because there is something about the introduction to Squaresoft games / Square Enix games that are just really special. And when I read that, because I know that's something I wanted to do, and at the time I couldn't get it out of my head, I said, I'm just going to do that. I'm just going to do it. I'm going to do my research and see what comes up of it. And I ended up getting to Final Fantasy 13. And when I reached the intro section of Final Fantasy 13, something that I am very familiar with, something clicked. And from there, the nostalgia within me led me to re-experience Gurren Lagann, one of my all-time favorite series. And that re-experience led me to finishing my second book. Why? Because I took the initiative and listened to my heart, man. I can't tell you the amount of times I've done that this year, and it has worked so much. If you have a song that you can't stop listening to in regards to, like, say you're on the street and you're humming a certain song, listen to it. Your body's talking to you. Your body's like, brother, in order for you to get it from step A to step B, you gotta listen to your body. So if you're humming, then brother, you gotta watch some Hakusho, man. You need to inject yourself with some Hakusho. Because your body's craving that. And then once you satisfy that craving, you go up and like somewhere, an idea will burst at some point. The most important thing is to take the initiative and do. Because once you start doing, that's when stuff starts happening. And I can tell you from personal experience, it has helped me so much. I cannot tell you the amount of times I've had a song stuck in my head. I'll put the song on repeat, sit in front of my computer, and stuff happens. It just works. It just works. And whether, of course, that is based on establishing a foundation and a routine that has allowed me to sit in front of the computer and do what it is that I do every single day. But by the flagnards, if I don't take the initiative in some way, shape, or form, and I just sit in front of the computer mindlessly, like I don't know what I'm doing, which I don't know what I'm doing, but if I listen to the body and I just draw, aka take what is around me, take what is currently inspiring me, take something that I currently want to talk about, and I do that, that is going to lead some sort of momentum shift where I can do what it is that I actually want to do. Whether that be if I want to write a poem for the day, if I want to listen to a certain song and write an analysis on that song, if I just want to listen to a song because it keeps making me, I'm losing my sanity, where I'm like, I can't stop thinking about this song, or this movie, or this TV show, or this book, by the Flagner, sit down and experience that for at least 15 minutes. Something's going to blossom. At least that's the way it's worked with me. Whatever that is for you, just sit down and do it. Listen to your soul, dog. Sometimes your body knows you way better than you do. And knows that once you do step A, step B is right there for the taking. And that's something that has set up my 2023 to be as incredible as it has been so far. And it's all thanks to the principles that I learned in cohesion with one another in this series. It's a phenomenal series. And like I said, I would recommend it to anyone just because it's a great read. But if you are someone who is currently pursuing a craft, no matter what it is, because every single principle that was taken here, I'm not an artist, I don't draw or anything of the sort, but I applied all those principles to both my YouTube and my writing career. And it's been masterful. And so for everyone who is watching this video and whatever craft that you are currently pursuing, I would highly recommend reading this series because it has universal principles that can be applied at any given point. And you will most certainly come out with different stuff than I did. This is just the stuff that I took out of it, right? Because that's the beautiful thing about experiencing stuff like this, especially, is what we can take out of it to take with us into the future. You may not get impacted as much as I did, but by the Flagnards, keep searching for the series that will impact you in the way that this impacted me. You know what I mean? Just keep searching, keep doing. That is something that I learned thanks to Blank Canvas. And just those two working in cohesion, right, with mastering the fundamentals, just the art of doing, a routine of trying to get better at something each and every single day, while also not attempting to create the perfect environment. The perfect environment does not exist. Stop trying to create it. There is not going to be a perfect day, a perfect time. Don't matter. You're the individual that creates those circumstances, right? So if it's like 10 o'clock at night, 11 o'clock at night, everyone's screaming in the house, your dog's barking, you've got your neighbors going nuts, but that's when you get that stroke of inspiration, brother. If you don't hurry up and get from your bed into the computer, that's when it's time to go up and like somewhere. There is no specific time, man. When it's time to go, it's time to go. And so those three ideas working in cohesion really is what helped me out a lot to start off 2023. And so if you would like to give it a shot, once again, it's Blank Canvas. my so-called artist journey. And I hope that you can get a simple drop of what this series was able to do for me. And so thank you all so much for watching this video. If you would like to hear about the other series that I would like to talk about in a part 2 of this, where it's simply just talking about my most entertaining reads of the year so far, then please let me know. That's something I would be interested in doing as well, because I've been reading a lot of awesome sauce to start this year, man. I would like to have the opportunity to be able to talk about those. So I will see y'all next time. Have an awesome day. Blank canvas greatness.